So it's Mopar stealing season, man. It's back. We back in the middle of it. Hellcat Scat Packs getting stolen left and right like crazy. Oh, you think I'm playing? Let's watch.
Dave, also on Long Island, another warning for homeowners about crooks stealing cars. In the latest cases, the suspects work in tandem, targeting muscle cars. And get this, they don't have the keys, so they push the cars out of the driveway, then down the road. News 4's Pacey Chang in Deer Park with some startling video of how it's happening. Your car is a Hellcat.
Yes.
It also has a pretty distinctive
His car was a Hellcat.
pattern on it.
It does.
Phil Reaney has little hope he will ever see his beloved 2015 Dodge Challenger Hellcat again. Last Sunday, while he was home watching TV, two thieves stole his car in Deer Park. By breaking the passenger window, putting the car in neutral, while one person steered, the other pushed the car to the street. Phil managed to run to the front door and yell at them.
Get lost!
It was
He said, get lost. Oh, they did get lost, but they got lost with your Hellcat.
10:45 at night.
I started yelling at them, leave the car alone, leave it alone. They didn't even flinch.
Once the car was on the street, a white SUV appeared and pushed the car away. Phil says it was a Mercedes SUV. They called 911 and cops showed up in minutes, but it was too late.
They immediately disabled the tracking. They immediately disabled the Uconnect for tracking.
Don't pay for the Uconnect security stuff. That's a waste of money. I had it on my Scat Pack, and I did all kinds of stuff to my Scat Pack, and it never sent me any kind of notifications.
There was nothing that was able to be done at that point.
The very next day, a clue. Phil gets a phone call from someone in Howard Beach who says she saw his car on her street.
Your car and another vehicle, a white SUV, was across the street. They were jumping up and down on the hood, taking pictures of each other. And at that point, the car had been running because she saw them drive it away.
And because they had thrown the contents of the car onto the street, she was able to find a card with Phil's name on it.
I never thought this would happen to me. I said, coming out and finding your car gone, it's just like an empty feeling.
3 days later at 2 in
Hellcat number 2.
the morning in Selden, Sean McCabe's purple Hellcat was also stolen from his driveway in a similar way.
I had 3 guys working on my car. They had the white SUV in the street ready to push it.
It's not clear if the two thefts are linked, but the similarities are hard to ignore. As Phil waits to hear about his car, he still can't believe he saw it happen and feels powerless.
It's bad enough that I lost my car, which I really loved. But the worst part is the feeling of being violated. The sickness that I felt that night in the pit of my stomach was just awful.
In Deer Park, Pacey Cheng, News 4, New York.
Look, listen, man. So he said something that was interesting there. He said the whole violation part, like feeling violated. I'm not going to lie. My Honda Civic, and this is back when I was in high school, it got stolen. And the day that it got stolen and I found out that it was stolen, I'm not going to lie, I did feel violated. I don't know why. It's like, and even when I got it back, it didn't feel like it was mine. Like, I remember I paid like $100 to have it detailed from head to toe. Because it was just like, I feel like I've been violated. Like, I feel like someone else, I'm in somebody else's car and it's not mine. Like, having it stolen or whatever, it just gave me that feeling of, you know, being violated or whatever. So I agree with him 100%. Now, what I will say, guys, is how long have I been making these videos, man? I've been making these theft videos probably for the better part of 2.5, 3 years, maybe longer than that. You know what I'm saying? At least ever since I had a Scat, which I got my Scat in 2020. I don't have a problem with people parking their Scats and Cats outside. I'm not going to knock you for that. A lot of people say, oh, you just need to have a garage. That's not always feasible, right? Some people live in apartment complexes. Some people live in townhome developments that don't have garages. Some people have homes that don't have garages, especially up north. Like having a garage up north, like in your New York area, you know, especially the heavily populated city area, it's not feasible to have a garage. So people will park their cars outside. I have no problem with that. What I do have a problem with is in 2024, having a $60, $70, $90, $100,000 car parked outside with absolutely no security whatsoever, especially knowing the climate that we live in. So things are getting bad, maybe just around the world. I mean, or at least in North America, because in Charlotte, a lot of people's scats have been stolen recently. I feel like more scats and cats have been stolen or broken into in the past 2 or 3 weeks than probably the last 3, 4, 5 months. Like, I feel like things really cooled down, at least in Charlotte, for a little while, to be quite honest with you. For a couple months, things really cooled down. And now things are speeding back up. So I'm in a group chat, and everybody in my group chat knows somebody whose scat was stolen or broken into, right? Not to mention even us, even our members or whatever. Their cars have been broken into. You know what I'm saying? So things are ramping back up. I mean, we had a little grace period, but things are ramping back up. But getting back to my original point, it is 2024. You're driving a $90,000 to $100,000 car with no security. Now you already know where I'm going with this. Boom, CarLock, $49, simple OBD plug-in. A lot of you guys say, oh, it can be unplugged. Well, you can hardwire it to your car. Vibration sensor, engine start, vehicle move, 24-hour, 7-day-a-week GPS. Everything comes to your phone and your Apple Watch or your Android watch if you have one. But what I'm saying here, guys, if you have all of this money to purchase these expensive muscle cars, and they are very expensive, trust me, I know, unfortunately, you have to, like, it's mandatory. It's not even optional. It's mandatory. You have to have some sort of security on it. I'm not a big fan of the Uconnect. I have never spoken about Uconnect on this channel, and there's a reason, because the only reason I had Uconnect is I like the fact that I could tell how much gas I had in my car from my iPhone. Because, you know, when you drive a gas guzzling car and that's your daily driver, at least back then, that was my daily driver, it would help. Like, I needed to know how much gas I had in my car before I even got in it. Because it's like, if I can't, you know, if I got to go to the gas station first and then get to you, then I'm going to add 15 minutes onto the route or whatever. But that's the only reason I like Uconnect. That, and then getting a monthly detailed reports where it's like everything was passed, everything was green. That's the only reason I like Uconnect. You know what I mean? But after I got CompuStar and then, of course, having CarLock, I let that subscription go to the wayside. I think they was charging me like $16 a month. I let that bullshit go because it doesn't work. Not to mention, to this guy's point, like he just said, a lot of criminals know exactly where that shit is in the car. I don't know. But they know where it's at, and the first thing they do is go and, you know, disconnect it. Not to mention, it's not like the fastest, most reliable updating GPS software that you can get on the car. Like, I remember my car wouldn't update for almost 10, 15 minutes. And it's like, at that point, you can be on the other side of Charlotte in 20 minutes with my car. I'm not a fan of Uconnect. But anything else is better than nothing. You've got a $90,000 car sitting in your driveway. And like I said, I don't mind not having a garage. I'm not knocking you for that. I am knocking you for not having some sort of security in 2024. I don't care what city and state you live in. I don't care what region of the world or the country you live in. It is happening all over. You're driving a purple Challenger Hellcat and you expect that people are not watching you? Come on, dude. Come on. They've been watching you for quite some time. Like, a lot of times when these cars are stolen, it's not just kind of a haphazard, oh, I was driving through somebody's neighborhood and I saw a purple Hellcat and me and my homeboy decided to steal it. No, 9 times out of 10, they've been doing reconnaissance on you for quite some time. They've been watching you for some days, if not weeks. They've been watching to see when you go to work, what do you drive when you go to work? Do you drive the Hellcat every day? Do you leave it at home some days? What time do you get home? What time do all the lights on the inside of the house turn off? 10 o'clock, that means you and the family are asleep, which means from 10 o'clock to 8 a.m. when you leave the house, I've got all that time right there to play around and steal this cat. You know what I'm saying? In this case, what they did was broke the window. They went right for the neutral strap, right? The neutral strap release that's right there by our shifter, right? Pull that. The car's going to roll back. They rolled it, pushed it to the street. Then they had another car come from behind it and push it off until they were able to get it started and go from there. It's a really quiet process. The loudest part about it is literally breaking the window. If you can break the window as quietly as possible, it's all good. And you saw that the owner didn't come out until the car was on the damn street already. And at that point, it's too late. Especially when the owner obviously doesn't own a firearm and all he can do is yell, "Get lost." Like, this ain't 1988. This ain't Saved by the Bell. Get lost? Like, what are you doing? Get lost. Oh, I'm going to get lost with your car, though. You know what I'm saying? Like I told you guys when I bought my T-Rex, I bought my T-Rex on a Tuesday afternoon down in Georgia. I didn't get home back to Charlotte until 11 o'clock. I had an appointment that next day to get the full security install situation, CompuStar, IGLA, all that shit. Like my, neutral strap, blocker, all that shit on my Cat and my T-Rex. I'm not saying that nothing's perfect. None of my cars are perfect, but you're gonna have to work damn hard. And by that time that you're doing all that working hard, I'm gonna be outside the house and I'm gonna have a lot more to say than just get lost. If it's that big of a deal to try to take, it's like I don't even want to get into it too deep like that. But at the end of the day, guys, all I can say is I can give a little bit of sympathy to these two guys because, their precious Hellcat has been stolen and they feel violated and their car was stolen literally right out front of their house, which in and of itself is a violation because it's like you came to my house and broke into my car and stole my car. I can only imagine how that feels. But at the same time, I have to be honest with you. We know what comes along with these cars, straight up and down. We cannot sit here and turn a blind eye and act like it's okay to park a $90,000, 700 horsepower muscle car outside of your house. Now, I'm sure both of these guys probably live in nice neighborhoods, and that's probably what kind of, gave them that false sense of security. Oh, it's a nice neighborhood. My neighbors are nice. Everyone in the neighborhood is nice. Everybody knows everybody. That means nothing because these are the exact neighborhoods that these criminals will drive through. They'll drive through these neighborhoods 3 and 4 times looking at different houses to see what cars are outside. And if they see a damn purple Challenger Hellcat, you know goddamn well that they're coming to get that. And all this, it's just a matter of time. It's not the if, it's the when. They're going to take their time. They're going to do reconnaissance. They're going to drive around the neighborhood 2-3 times a week, multiple times a month. And then it's just a matter of when it's going to happen. You know what I mean? I would not be surprised if they were doing reconnaissance on these cars for weeks at a time, if not months. And it's just a matter of what's the perfect day. What's the perfect night? I hate that these cars are stolen, obviously, but at the same time, you're driving an $80,000, $90,000 car and you don't want to invest, $49 at the worst. $49 for CarLock. I can understand some people not wanting to drop $1,500, like, all the crazy shit that I put on my cars. I get all that. But at the same time, it's like, you got to do something. You can't be out here naked, especially when they're stealing it from your house. It's one thing to steal them from the mall parking lot, downtown, the parking deck, shit like that, your job. It's another thing when they come to your house. They have no respect for you or what you could possibly do to protect your property. So, I'm just saying, we've got to, you got to do better. I can give you a little bit of sympathy. I hate that it happens. I'm sorry. I know how it feels. But you got to have something, some sort of security on these cars. I see he's got the decals. I see he's got the windows tinted. He didn't waste any time getting the decals on there, making sure people knew it was a SRT Hellcat. Getting the windows tinted, the brass monkey rims, right? That's all well and good. But that should be after you secure it and lock it down. The neutral strap, in his case, they broke the window, pulled the neutral strap, and literally just rolled it to the street. A neutral strap plate blocker is all of, I think my man Tunes, I think my man Andrew, he sells them for like $50 and he'll customize them for you. Like you can have some sort of inscription right there on the metal, on the plate itself. He did it for me. If you try to break into my shit and you go for the neutral strap, it's literally a plate right there that says "not today" with a smiley face. You know what I mean? So it's like, come on, guys. Like, I hate seeing this shit. I'm sure both of these guys work hard for these cars. I'm sure they took really good care of them. But it's like, you got to secure them. You got to. Because it seems to me that we're getting to the point where these cars are being stolen more often at this point. I don't know why, but there's an uptick because it's happening in Charlotte. Scats and cats are being stolen and broken into. It's getting bad again. It slowed down, but it's getting bad again. So I'm sure if it's getting bad here, it's probably getting bad where you live too. So once again, I'm not knocking him for not having a garage. We're not all fortunate enough to have a garage attached to a house. I get that. But I am going to knock you for not having some security. There's no way in hell that they should be able to break your window hop in the damn passenger seat with all their weight, doing a whole lot of movement and vibration, roll your shit down to the street, have somebody else push the shit away from you, and not a single alarm goes off. And they're doing that in the dead of the night. And all you can do is come outside and say, get lost. Like, come on now. We got to do better. Like, you have to know what comes along with owning these cars. That's the biggest thing. When you buy one of these cars, you have to know what comes along with it. I've told you guys numerous times, there are only certain places that I drive my Hellcat. I don't drive it downtown Charlotte. Well, when I do drive it downtown Charlotte, I'm not parking it. It's just I'm driving it there to maybe meet somebody. I'm going to be with my car, and then we're going to roll out. I'm not parking it in a garage downtown, in a parking deck downtown. I've seen too many people's cars getting broken into. I don't take my car to the mall, right? I'm not parking my car in a mall parking lot. Everybody named Mama can see a big black and white Charger Hellcat. No. Even when I go to restaurants, if I know that I'm going to be in the restaurant for a while, I don't drive it. You know what I'm saying? I don't drive it. I may take it to the grocery store because I'm in and out, you know. But nighttime, I really don't drive it unless I'm going to a car meet or I'm shooting a video of some sort. Like, you just, you know, you can't drive these cars everywhere all the time because there's just too much heat around them. As always, guys, like, subscribe, comment. It's been your boy Knockout, man. Talk to me. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.